Hi, in this quick video tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to graph quadratic inequalities. Our problem here is y is greater than x squared plus 2x minus 5. When you graph a quadratic inequality, it's very similar to graphing quadratic equations. So our first step is to identify our a, b, and c values of our quadratic inequality. Your a value is always the value, the coefficient, in front of x squared, so therefore it's 1. Your b value is the coefficient in front of the x variable. In this case, it's 2. And c is your constant. In this case, it's negative 5. After that, you find the x coordinate of the vertex by using this formula. X equals negative b divided by 2a. Take these values from step 1 and substitute in the formula. When you simplify, your x coordinate of the vertex is negative 1. Next, I've made a table of values. I have space for 5 ordered pairs. For my vertex, I always place it in the middle. So from step 2, I've put the x coordinate of the vertex as negative 1. And in order to make this symmetrical, if I go up 1, I'm at a value of 0. In order to make it symmetrical, I need to go down by 1, and therefore I get an x value of negative 2. To keep it symmetrical, I'm going to go up 2 units from the vertex, and so now I have a value of x equals 1. And in order to keep this symmetrical, I'm going to go down 2 values from the vertex, and now I have a value of negative 3. In order to find these y values here, you're going to replace the x values back into the original inequality. However, when you do that, simply replace the inequality sign with this equal sign. Go ahead and look over the work to determine how each y value was calculated. So hopefully you've looked over the work to find out how each y value was calculated. Next, you're going to graph each 5 of these ordered pairs. Now, this is the part that's different when you graph quadratic equations. When it's an inequality, since our question was a greater than symbol, with the 5 ordered pairs that you graphed, you're going to connect it with a dashed line. If your quadratic inequality has a greater than or less than symbol, you're always going to connect your ordered pairs with a dashed line. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that would look like. So here are the 5 ordered pairs that came from our table of values. And of course, there's our dotted dashed line that connects all 5 points. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is the shading. So we're going to select a test point that is either on the inside of the parabola or the outside. What we're going to do is replace that test point back into the original inequality and determine if that makes a true or false statement. If it is true, we're going to shade towards the test point, and if it is false, we're going to shade away from the test point. So let's go back to my graph. This yellow point here represents my test point, the origin, 0, 0. I'm going to substitute it back into the original problem. So let's check out the work. When we substitute 0, 0 back into the original problem, I get a final statement of 0 is greater than negative 5, which is true. So we're going to shade towards the test point. Since our test point is located inside the parabola, we shade the area that is inside the parabola. And that concludes how you graph a quadratic inequality.